Hi, everybody. Light keepers, light keeper parents, all of you who are interested in knowing more about, I guess, maybe creating stories, creating children's books, animation, how to get started. So briefly, I wanted to take you to my Canva. It is what I pretty much live by, to show you kind of how I started. So eventually this is the cover that I came up with for Amara. And just, this is actually the second one you see down here below. We have, I love it when my cursor doesn't move. We have Amara and the Helmet of Courage. And then the first one, this is blurred out. If you know Canva at all, you know sometimes it does take a lot. Whether you have Pro and pay for it or you're new, some illustrations, because they are through AI, are very hard to upload. But I wanted to take you to my upload and kind of, as I give you the backstory real quick of how and why, I wanted to do a story basically about a little girl who tries to overcome her shyness and not speaking for herself, not being strong enough, letting people pick on her because she's the little quiet girl, through, I guess, armor of God really came to mind. So if you are biblical, if you're Christian, great. Thank you for being here and being supportive. If you're not, you don't have to be. I mean, this story still will build your child and give them a great backing of things to do when you're cornered in these particular type of instances. You know, when people are trying to steal your joy or being mean to you, or you need to do the right thing, like tell the truth because you saw an incident. Several things like that I'm going to go through on these little books and start. But the initial thing I wanted to do really was, or still is, animation. I want to make it an animated series about a little girl who's struggling to, make friends, and the enemies that she has just seem to keep accumulating, keep coming by the dozens. And how does she do that, especially if her family goes to church and if she's considered a child of God? How do you do that? So that's how I came about, and I'm trying to see if I can find the first picture that I had, because then what I've decided to do is go back a little bit. Originally I wanted to start her at around 9 and 10, and now I want to go back where you see here she's looking more like 4, 5, 6, just for a couple of books. And I'm not going to lie, it's mainly to ground me as the author, to help really solidify the themes and the meaning I want to have the reader accept and know and understand when they buy this book, or go on to Webtoons, check out the series, whatnot, for Amara and what she is offering. And so as you see, it takes a little bit of time to load up, but there are early pictures that once I can afford an illustrator. So no, my intention is not to use AI once I progress from the children's books to about middle grade. I want to do in sort of the vein of Dork Diaries, where there's a lot of fidgeting gadgets and sketches and little things that Amara is going to be drawing, because it grounds her and it puts her in her fantasy world. And then reality will be her reality will be, the school and home life. And this is somebody who just lost her Nana. And as we move and she gets older, it's really going to be about her family kind of growing up, brother and sister, moving away. So then not only does she just have one or two friends at school, but now she doesn't even have the closeness from her family. So here I really started with the armor, and I'll zoom in on that. So I couldn't decide what sword to use. I think the helmets are still too grownish, even when she becomes 9. On the Helmet of Courage book, it looks very age appropriate. And then we have the belt, but then this is also what I really wanted to show. When I first did AI, oh, that's a picture of me. When I first did AI and I was building her up, I really, can I zoom in on that without it blurring? So there's one in particular, and I don't see it here. Oh, here it is with the black backdrop, where she's a little bit more animated and less realistic than the other pictures. And then the one right below, let me stop showing myself. The one right below it with the kind of puffs, that is, I mean, that's the girl right there. That is the girl. The puffs were too big here. The one down below also, I'm sorry I can't get it to stay focused, but too much puffiness I felt took away from the armor. So, as you see here, she has a puff full of curls. The hardest part, as I end this Who is Amara and why, her story, the hardest part really is trying to get her together. And speaking of that, let me just end and show you. Here they are. This is I didn't want to do that. See how you can end up just doing stuff? So if I come down and do another page and I show you this, I'll just zoom in instead of trying to figure it out. This is sort of how I would love the beginning of the animated series to start. She's age appropriate. It shows her in regular clothes turning into armor, going up into her fantasy world, which as of now is named Everlight. You can see the school down below. You can see her home. And then you can get just a glimpse of Everlight. And so I really love this. And I know an illustrator can do better. What I would love to do is have it to where her hair is in braids and almost coming out of the braids. So every time she goes to this fantasy world, she just upscales in beauty 10 times. And she becomes the beautiful person that she sees in the inside. And I really want that theme to speak. So that is Amara. This is the evolution of Amara when she grows up and becomes an animated series. So I hope you stay with me and follow this journey. It's only going to be 5 children's books. And then I'm going to move on to the middle grade. And I'm also going to just really focus on Webtoons Canvas, doing series, and then filling in some books in the meantime. So I hope you had fun. Next, I hope to show you, maybe in just some shorts, the meaning behind the armor, creating a Christian fantasy based, and then also building the universe. That has actually been very hard for me because I see a lot in my head, but it just doesn't turn out to what I want when I write my image prompt. So that just means I have to do more research and keep hunting. But anyways, thank you and see you guys next time.